Yes, I am excited to say I found log 9, and this is another thrift store video. Hello and welcome. My name's Elaine. I'm learning people would like to know what my first name is. So this past weekend, I had another niggle to go to my thrift store. If you've seen my earlier video, I found almost the whole set of the Star Trek series written by Alan Dean Foster. There was only one logbook missing. So I had a niggle to go check things out. I was also looking for another book, which I didn't find. But here's the interesting thing. This is the only Star Trek logbook that they had this time. Unlike the last time when I found 1 to 8 and then number 10, this time it was just number 9, the one I needed. So, Richard Dawkins, I don't know about how things work in your world, but I certainly enjoy the way they work in my world. I couldn't help it. I'm currently reading The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. He's got some interesting factual information, but we'll see how it goes by the time I get to the end of the book. So this is the first book that I found during my haul. I've also found 2 other books by an author that I've been wanting to reread for some time. Again, I believe things come when they're meant to and when we can gain the most benefit or learning from them. I've tried my public library and I didn't see her titles there. So when I saw these 2 books by Elisabeth Kubler-Ross, I definitely decided to pick them up. One is Living with Death and Dying. The other is On Death and Dying, What the Dying Have to Teach Doctors, Nurses, Clergy, and Their Own Families. I've read the works by Elisabeth Kubler-Ross a number of years ago. I enjoyed her ideas about grief, the process, learning about that whole process. I've certainly learned about it from experience throughout my life, but I did want to give these a read again. So I was very happy to see them during my trip. Another book that I found, and I'm pretty sure this is a rebuy for me because I read it decades ago, The Story of the Andes Survivors Alive. This is by Piers Paul Reed. Mine, I'm pretty sure, didn't have the motion picture sticker there. This is about a plane crash in the Andes and the survivors telling their story. This varies from the Donner and the Franklin expeditions, which also went through hardships for different reasons. But in that case, all we can do is speculate, use forensic science and other science to try and piece things together and make assumptions about what happened, because we can't actually talk to anyone from that. But in Alive, the survivors were able to tell their story and what happened, which makes it a very different experience. So I'm looking forward to reading this again as well. Another book that I was very excited to find. Okay, let's be serious. I get excited about all the books I find. This is Canada Ghost to Ghost, and this is by Sheila Hervey. Now, I have a number of ghost books, certainly about Ontario, Canada, other locations as well. But the reason this one really caught my attention, Sheila Hervey, author of the 100,000 copy bestseller Some Canadian Ghosts, receives numerous letters from Canadians nationwide regarding their experiences with ghosts. She lives outside Toronto and continues her research into paranormal phenomena. That means less than 2 hours from where I am. It would be very exciting to be able to meet an author and talk with them about collecting these types of stories. One of my goals is to get permission from an author to read their ghost stories and make videos about them. So I'm super excited to know this person is not very far away. Richard Palmisano is also just in Toronto. So who knows, maybe one of these days I'll get permission from one of these ghost story authors and be able to read through their entire book. In the meantime, I can do videos with some synopsis or some snippets, but it would be awesome to be able to go through front to back and share the stories in their books. The final book that I picked up this time is by an author who I very much enjoy and who made a huge difference for me. This book is I Could Do Anything If Only I Knew What It Was. How to Discover What You Really Want and How to Get It. This is by Barbara Sher. I've mentioned her book, Refuse to Choose, before. Very much recommend that book. She talks about people with ADHD. She talks about scanners, which is the main focus of the book, and how those two traits tend to get confused sometimes. I found it very well written. I found it very thought-provoking. I liked the ideas she shared, the strategies and the tips that have certainly made a difference for me, because I've never been tested and I have no interest in going to be tested. I have a lot of quirks that may fall into the ADHD realm, but I also have a lot of things that fit far better into the scanner way of doing things. So her book is one that I've read numerous times to refresh on tips and ideas. I'm looking forward to this book. I haven't read it before. I did read her other book, Wishcraft, years ago, and it does make me sad that since her passing, although the website is still up, a message board that used to be there where people could connect and share their experiences is no longer available. Personally, that makes me sad because it would be amazing to be able to connect with others who have found her work to be beneficial, who are going through the same type of questioning and experiences. But unfortunately, that isn't an option, so I'm reaching out and trying to find those like-minded kindred souls in other ways. That was my Follow Your Gut thrift store shop. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the authors that I've just mentioned. Also, be sure to give that like button a little tickle, as that tells the YouTube algorithm that people are watching, finding my videos to be of interest or benefit, and then pushing that out to other folks so our little community grows. I am happy with having a small community. I appreciate the comments and the likes and the views. I very much appreciate the returning viewers. If you enjoy content of a bookish nature, nature videos, or just silly cats and other surprises, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload content that may be of interest to you. And until next time, be sure to take good care and follow those little intuitions.